In February 1959, the harsh, unforgiving winter environment of the Ural Mountains became the site of a mystery that remains unsolved today. 9 highly experienced hikers ventured out on this winter expedition. These were trained survivalists, seasoned in navigating the extreme conditions of the Urals. When the group failed to return on schedule, a rescue team was dispatched. Search parties expected to find the victims of a standard freezing accident. The rescuers eventually reached a remote slope dubbed Dead Mountain, where they located the group's snow-buried campsite. The search team uncovered a chaotic scene on the slope that defied the established logic of mountain survival. The discovery of that campsite marks the exact moment this event shifted from a fatal accident into an illogical, entirely unexplained mystery. The first thing the search team noticed was the hiker's tent, which was severely damaged and partially collapsed under the snow. Forensic evidence quickly revealed an unsettling detail. The canvas had been slashed open from the inside. Those inside were reacting to a threat so terrifying that they could not spare the seconds required to untie the doors. Footprints tracking away from the campsite painted a picture of a frantic, disorganized sprint directly into a blinding -30-degree blizzard. The footprints showed the hikers fled wearing only socks or in completely bare feet, leaving their heavy winter coats behind in the tent. Abandoning shelter and clothing in the Urals is a death sentence. It is a mistake these experts would have understood perfectly. Whatever threat they faced inside that tent was perceived as more terrifying and immediately lethal than the freezing death waiting for them outside. The hikers' bodies were recovered months later across the mountain, showing evidence of trauma that went far beyond hypothermia. Several of the victims suffered catastrophic physical injuries, specifically fractured skulls and massively crushed chest cavities. Coroners determined that the sheer kinetic force required to cause these internal injuries was equivalent to a high-speed car crash. This forensic model illustrates a glaring medical paradox. Despite massive internal trauma, the bodies had no external scratches, bruises, or soft tissue wounds. The examinations also documented a macabre mutilation. One female hiker was discovered missing her tongue and eyes. As investigators continued to search for a cause, they detected abnormally high levels of radioactive contamination soaked deep into the victim's clothing. The barefoot panic, invisible blunt force trauma, and radioactive clothing. This evidence systematically eliminates natural explanations like avalanches, animal attacks, or simple exposure. Back in civilization, the 1959 Soviet authorities were struggling to make sense of the evidence pulled off the mountain. Rather than solving the case, investigators abruptly closed the files and sealed off the entire Dead Mountain region for 3 years. The official legal verdict used a chillingly vague phrase to explain the deaths, attributing them to a compelling unknown force. This conclusion reflects a total breakdown in logic. Despite the abundance of physical evidence, human deduction reached a dead end. The Dyatlov Pass Incident endures as a reminder that even in the modern age of science, there are still forces in the dark that we cannot explain.